Welcome to the YouTube Creators Hub podcast, where we help you conquer the internet one video at a time. We cover everything from how to start a YouTube channel to how to make a video go viral. And now, here's your host, the one and only Dusty Porter.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 340 of the YouTube Creators Hub podcast, where each and every Friday I interview a wonderful content creator and I talk with them about their journey on YouTube or their content creation journey as a whole. If you're looking to either start, grow, or monetize your channel on YouTube, this is the show for you. We have over 325 interviews on this feed, and so I highly encourage you to go back and listen to those if you haven't already. We're brought to you by the fine folks over at TubeBuddy. If you're looking for a tool that can help make your YouTube life easy and quicker, please go check out TubeBuddy. With our link, you'll get a free 30-day trial, an entire month of using everything that TubeBuddy has to offer, all their existing tools, all their upcoming tools, and everything in between. Definitely go check them out if you haven't already. Also, man, I have to say this. We had our first mastermind group meeting a couple of weeks ago, just over a week and a half ago now. It was one of the best things that I've ever done here through the podcast. There was about 7 or 8 of us on the call. A ton of other people wanted to come, but the time kind of didn't match up because everyone's all over the world. But man, if you're looking to do that, you can support us over on Patreon right now for 2 more months. The price is still going to be that $5 tier, but after the third meeting, we will increase that because I do believe there's value and a ton of people interested in this. So definitely go over to patreon.com/DustyPorter, support us at that $5 tier or higher, and get access to not only those live mastermind meetings with myself and the other creators, you'll also get the Discord group, and then you'll also get a shout out once a month here on the podcast. This week, we have Matt L., Randy E., Simon H., Chase S., Orlando Hubbard from The Idea Splurge on YouTube, David Rico from O2 Hero, Cybermind, 8 Eddie, Joe O, Jen Betwix, Indy GameX, Bez R. Thank you guys so much for supporting me over there. You all are amazing. If it wasn't for folks like you, I wouldn't be able to put the time in that it takes to make this podcast a success. Also, one more housekeeping thing. I am opening up a YouTube consultation and coaching calls. They are paid, but if you would like to sign up for a one-off or a recurring meeting with myself for 30 minutes of coaching and consultation around your YouTube channel, we can do whatever you want. We can look through your current video catalog. We can go over your channel. I can answer any questions that you may have, or I can coach you on a recurring basis. I am opening that up now, so that will be in the show notes of this podcast. Also, if you think you or someone you know would be a great fit for the show, use the link down below. It's a Google form, takes 5 minutes, and insert the data of the person you'd like for me to reach out to, or maybe it's you. I don't have any size requirements as far as a YouTube channel size, but I do require you to be active and consistent and have some sort of community over on your channel. So don't insert your information if you have no content on your channel. All right, with all of that out of the way, let's jump into this week's conversation. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's conversation on the YouTube Creators Hub podcast. My name is Dusty Porter, your host, as always. I'm joined today by Melissa Rose from the Melissa Explains It All YouTube channel. She's got just under 6 months on YouTube and already got 5.3 thousand subscribers and an amazing emerging community over on her channel. She teaches moms how to build their Plan A life through goal setting, personal finance, minimalism, and more. She has a degree in entrepreneurship and an MBA, and she's a self-proclaimed personal finance nerd. She's found that discovering her own brand of what she's dubbed as relaxed minimalism has helped reduce her anxiety, be a calm, present mom, and freed up time and money to build the life she wants to live, aka her Plan A life. Melissa, how are you doing today?
Hey, Dusty, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today.
I tell you, when I did the research on your channel before I sent the message to you to come on the show, I was so impressed that you've grown the channel so quickly, and we'll definitely cover those topics. But I do want you to talk about the origin story of the channel. Like, tell us the whole story of how the Melissa Explains It All channel came to be.
Yes, and I'm so glad you asked that question. Because little known fact, my channel actually started in January of last year, so I've just passed the 1 year mark. as a prenatal yoga channel. I had never done YouTube before. I actually never really watched much YouTube before, but I am on the side, a yoga teacher and wanted to create a resource for pregnant moms, and nothing like that really existed. So that was kind of how I tipped my toes into YouTube. And like I do with all things, I dive in head first. So I started doing tons of research about best practices and how to grow on YouTube. And I didn't expect to fall in love with the medium of YouTube and of video and storytelling. So I sort of deprecated the yoga content on that channel and changed that channel to be my personal channel, Melissa Explains It All. The name sort of came about as a joke because I am a passionate explainer of the things that I like to do and research, and it was a riff off of Clarissa Explains It All. If anyone else out there is from the Nickelodeon era, okay, so it's not just me.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so I guess it was last summer, I decided, hey, I'm going to shift the direction of the channel. And once I shifted and I implemented all the things that I learned, my channel blew up. So I'm really excited to share all of that with everyone today.
Yeah, so the first video that I see on there has 10,000 views. It's 19 minimalist baby registry must-haves. Already got 10K views, under 5 months, right at 5 months or so. So you obviously it took off. What are some things that you implemented early on that you now can look back on that you can say to yourself, these are some of the things that have really helped me kind of springboard to success on YouTube?
Absolutely. So first things first, it's understanding that YouTube is a search platform. So you can't just if you want to grow a channel, and especially if you're going from scratch, you can't just put up a vlog and call it vlog number 1 and hope that you get 100,000 views. You have to realize that people are on there searching for content, or they're on Google and Google's pulling from YouTube, searching specific keywords and specific questions and answers. And so you have to create content and titles that answer things that people are looking for. So keeping that as your frame of reference first and foremost when you're planning videos and creating your content that needs to happen. I mean, otherwise your content just won't get discovered because there's so much other great content out there.
So you're answering the questions that folks have. How are you populating these questions? Is it from the comments section? I mean, obviously early on, you probably didn't have much of that. So are you doing research elsewhere? How are you locating these questions to answer?
Certainly. So a lot of it, it depends on the specific content bucket. So if I'm talking about minimalism, or if I'm talking about personal finance, that kind of gears initially. I will do my own sort of searches on YouTube and think, budgeting. Okay, let me search budgeting and see what videos come up. Or I will also search other creators whose videos I really like and creators who resonate with me and whose audiences are similar. And I will sleuth their comment sections and see what their commenters are asking about or commenting on or really enjoying or craving, and create videos around that. Because the cool thing about YouTube is it's infinite. I mean, you don't have as a viewer, you can't, you don't have only 5 subscribers or 5 channels that you can subscribe to. A viewer can subscribe to thousands of channels. So don't think of it as a finite pool of viewers, but think of it as creating more content, because people can just subscribe to their channel and your channel and other channels that are aligned. So finding those crisscrossing audiences really helps as well.
I love that. That's really, really good stuff. One of the things that I took note of early on looking at your channel is that the design and aesthetic of your channel is very in line in brand. The thumbnails, they're not all exactly the same, but they all have kind of the same theming to them as far as like fonts and colors. And your channel banner looks great as well. How did you spoke about not having much experience on YouTube or content creation, but how did you go about designing the look and feel of the channel?
Thank you. So I make all my graphics on Canva, which I think a lot of creators do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's such a great resource. And I sort of did some research on YouTube and saw what videos populated, which videos are popular, and also primarily what content creators I like and what I notice that resonates about their thumbnails that entices me to click on them. Because a creator, one specific creator that I like might have hundreds of videos. Why do I click on this one of her videos instead of that one? What is it about that thumbnail? What is it about the font size? What is it about her expression that makes me want to watch that specific video? So taking a step back and sort of thinking of myself as the viewer and thinking what resonates with me, because I believe that will also resonate with my audience, who are very much in the same sort of stage of life that I'm in.
Yeah, that's a big deal. It really is. And it's kind of like the book, the cover to a book, you know, when you're thinking about designing your thumbnails. That's the analogy that I always have used for years now, in that, you know, what is going to make them click, especially when you're starting out on YouTube, right? Like, you're still in the very much infancy stage, even though you've grown your channel very quickly. You know, you've got to think of to yourself, what's going to make them click? Is it going to be the title? Is it catchy enough? Is it the thumbnail? Is it the first line or two of the description? Am I answering a question? Is this entertainment based? You got a lot of kind of things to juggle there, and hearing you talk about your mindset behind it is really, really fun to hear. Now, you've obviously reached the milestone very quickly, by the way, of monetization and making money on the channel. So let's talk about that journey of, you know, reaching the requirements of the watch hours and the subscribers, and you applied for monetization. I assume you were accepted, and now you're making money from the channel. Can you speak on that for a minute, and kind of how you're making money now and how you'd like to in the future?
Absolutely, yes. So my channel was sort of ticking along, getting 1,000 views or so once I shifted the channel away from yoga and created just this, Melissa Explains It All. And also the nuts and bolts around that, I made sure to unlist those other videos so as not to confuse the algorithm, and also not to confuse my viewers who are landing on a channel for a minimalism video and they see all these weird yoga videos. Like, we don't want to confuse anyone. So those are no longer on my channel. And I think unlisting those also helped my channel grow a lot, because YouTube saw that that was no longer part of what I'm doing. And, you know, we don't want to confuse the algorithm. So once I shifted to these specific types of videos, my first handful of videos around minimalism got around 1,000 views or so in a week, maybe a week or two, which was really successful for me at the time, because my initial yoga videos had like a handful, 20 views or so. So I thought, wow, that's great. That's really successful. I feel good about this. I'm growing a little bit of momentum. And then again, just testing, thinking of everything as testing, as far as what types of videos I create, thumbnails. There's a content creator I really like, and in the minimalism space as well. I've seen these videos around 50 things I don't buy or 50 things I no longer buy. And I decided, you know, this would actually be kind of a fun video to create. It's a fun exercise for myself, and it was a learning experience. And so I created that video, and I think I know why it blew up. We can talk about that in a minute, but that's the video that really launched my channel to success. It has well over 100,000 views at this point. And that's the video where most of my subscribers came in. And so, of course, as that took off, I started to create more content, noticing who my viewers were and what kinds of other videos they were watching.
Would you mind divulging what the money is like ad revenue for a channel of your size? Just over 5,000 subscribers, you're averaging, you know, thousands and thousands of views per video now. Some of them get more than others, obviously, but there's a good median level there. What are you looking at money-wise from the ad program?
Yeah, so I've only been monetized since, I think, November is when I hit the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And so December I was monetized. January I'm averaging around $400 a month right now.
Wow, that is really impressive.
Oh, thank you. It's exciting when you think about YouTube as, you know, you have to think of that as exponential, and it's a snowball. It's not a linear journey. The more viewers you have, the more videos you make, the better content you make, things just kind of balloon from there. So that helps if that helps to encourage anyone out there who thinks $400 to $500, think about 10xing your subscribers and 10xing your revenue, or 20xing it or beyond.
Yeah, there's no cap. There's no ceiling. I was on a mastermind group call this week, our first one ever, by the way, and we were talking about that, about how YouTube doesn't have a ceiling. There's, you know, whereas, you know, you can do as little or as much as you want, and if you put in the time and effort and you create good stuff, you know, and people notice, then you have the ability to, like you said, 5, 10, 20x, not just your revenue, but your view and your impact, which is really what YouTube is about. It's about the impact, right? I do want to come back to something that you said about that one video that you think you know why it did so well. Can you explain kind of the ingredients of that video that blew up and did so well on the channel, that kind of jump-started your channel?
Yes, and I am just going to pull up the analytics on it right now. So I think what really helped this channel, and I went back and sort of analyzed this after it started blowing up. It was around, I think I had 20,000 views on this video when I hit my 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So I got monetized when this video hit about 20,000 subscribers. It's this 20,000 viewers. It's well over 100,000 now. At that point, I went back into my description and looked and said, why did this video do so well? What can I learn from this?
Interesting.
And in the description, when I was writing this, I was really just pouring my heart out. I mean, that's what I like to do with my content. But I noticed all the different keyword strings in my video, not that they're just keyword strings, but that they cross over to a very relevant demographic. So I talked about struggling with anxiety, calming my mind, calming my space, creating a peaceful home environment, minimalism. These are all the words in that description. Minimalism, reduce clutter in our small home, create mental calmness, and save money. I didn't even realize when I was writing this description that there were so many strong keywords in there. And I don't think that it's these keywords are segmented, but it's that they overlap and crisscross a large demographic of people. And that's why this video did so well. This video started being promoted on the home screen of YouTube, which is why it got so many views.
So the title of the video is 50 Things I Do Not Buy to Reduce My Anxiety. And then you have a divider line and then the word minimalism, all caps, and then small space living. And the thumbnail just says 50 Things I Do Not Buy with an image of you kind of talking and speaking and animating. Putting those pieces together of why it did so well, I agree with you. You kind of really captured, and I'm sure once one viewer watched it, they probably watched the entire thing, which is almost 20 minutes long. It's just over 18 minutes long, right? So you have a longer video like that, which probably got very good watch time, which what I've seen with coaching my clients is that when they have one of these longer form videos, say, over 10 minutes, maybe even 8 minutes, 8, 10, 12 minutes, upwards to 20, what you're doing, and they have these just like eye-popping stats or statistics, and can you look and see what your watch time is for that video as far as like what the percentage is?
Let's see.
But just continue that as you're looking. It's a no-brainer. Like, these people are watching it. They're watching similar videos, related videos, and so YouTube's going to start pumping that on the home feed of people who have been known to watch or consume that type of content, and then the watch time's just adding on to that. So as a creator early on, if you're looking for a way to really get traction, create a what I call a tent pole bit of content that you can use, maybe even feature it on your YouTube homepage for a while, that is very informative or very entertaining, and it's going to be the basis of what you do, kind of like what Melissa said. She used it as a springboard for other content because that's what the majority of her early subscribers came from.
Yeah, so the average view duration is 7 minutes and 22 seconds,
and see
which
that,
I didn't notice, but I'm pretty proud of. That's pretty good.
Over 7 minutes of the average, it's got over 117,000 viewers on that video now. To have the average viewer watch over 7 minutes, that is an insane amount. I had a tutorial early on, about 8 or 9 years ago. It still gets thousands of views every month. It was a 21-minute tutorial. It had 16-minute average view duration, and it just killed it. Not only are you looking at getting pumped into the algorithm more or on the home feed, which is what Melissa talked about, but when you are monetized and you have mid-roll ads and pre-roll ads, you got to think you're making, a ton of money. Maybe not, in terms of like quantitative, but as far as like the amount of money per view, one view could be paying you, what 10 or 20 may on another smaller, shorter form videos. So understanding tentpole content and where to go from there. And so what did you do after you had the success from that one video, Melissa? How did that adjust or pivot where you were going with the channel?
Definitely. So like I said, I stepped back and I analyzed, why did this video do so well and what can I replicate? So that largely led into how I do my thumbnails. So this was just a slight tweak from how I had previously been doing my thumbnails, but it did inform my more recent videos. It also helped inform the type of content I choose to produce. So again, I was trying to hint at this before, but instead of creating a video that's just based on one specific thing, one specific keyword like minimalism or saving money or et cetera, trying to create a video that meshes together multiple of those keywords in a genuine way, because that's the kind of content that, I think YouTube it's not looking to match one viewer with one specific keyword, but if they see one viewer who likes to watch videos around budgeting and who also looks like they're interested in minimalism and who also looks like they live in a small space, well, if there's a video that hits all three of those topic areas, YouTube will suggest it. So thinking about it in that way, that's also helped inform how I develop my more recent videos as well.
Yeah, she's right. It is how it works. YouTube looks at my algorithm and they see that I'm into, technology, I'm into gear, I'm into audio stuff. But also on the flip side, my daughter watches and consumes content on my channel or on my account. And so she may be watching Roblox or Minecraft, these different things. And so with that being the case, oftentimes YouTube does use those search results. They call it history, and I think of it as like you're a singular avatar that YouTube has in the algorithm, and it's trying to figure you out, and it's trying to serve you the best. Think of a restaurant; it's trying to serve you the best food, your most favorite food. So you go and you sit down and you digest and you consume that food for the longest amount of time. They want you on site as long as possible. They don't care if you're on Melissa videos or Dusty videos. They just want you on YouTube. And so how can they bounce you around? How can they get you to stay on site as long as possible? And so I want to ask you, Melissa, who you do long form content like I do. Your video average duration is around, say, 12 to 15 minutes. How are you keeping those people engaged? What are you doing in video to keep those folks engaged?
This is such a good question. And this is something I've been learning throughout my journey in the last 6 months. Editing is so important, and keeping it quick. So keeping things really, really tight. When you start YouTube and you are making a video, you might have something really witty that you said or something you explained really well, but don't repeat yourself. You're going to have to get brutal and leave things on the cutting floor. So I might record for 40 minutes and the video winds up being 18 minutes. You just have to cut out so much stuff and keep things really tight and really quick. So you'll notice there's not a lot of dead air, especially in the first 30 seconds. The first 30 seconds is the maximum amount of time you have to make your introduction before someone's going to get bored and click off. So when you're editing and you're listening back and you start getting bored or you start losing your train of thought, that's a sign to cut something. You need to keep it really fast and keep the content moving. Otherwise, people get distracted, they get a little bit bored, and they click off. So keeping the editing tight.
Yeah, cut the fluff, get rid of that long intro of yours, and just keep it strictly to, if you're doing informative content, get to the point, don't ramble. I have a hard time doing that. I do strictly instructional tutorial videos on my channel. I still struggle with that, but I try to get better as I go and watch and cut things in post. I'm like, I don't need that part. Or, like this morning, I was editing a video that I recorded a couple of days ago on a bit of software, and there was a whole minute, 30 second that I just cut because it was just me rambling on about maybe you need to do there was no concrete reason why it was in there. So if you want to improve your watch time and view duration, cut that long, drawn-out intro, include some fun little quirks, and include some fun editing, and cut the fluff is what I always like to say.
Absolutely. And if there's like something in the intro that you just can't cut because it won't make sense, there's always little tricks like pop up your Instagram handle or just some sort of little tiny visual something that keeps their brain engaged into something new, and that helps to move it along as well.
Agreed, 100%. Tell us about yourself personally. What makes you a good creator? Like, what are your strong suits as a person, as a human? And then what are the things that you struggle with that definitely impact your channel?
Oh, that's such a great question. Well, I think anyone who knows me personally would say I'm a very passionate person. And I think that's the exciting thing about YouTube. And when I got into video was I was able to pour that energy into a medium that helped it to flourish. So I'm a very animated person. I use my hands a lot when I talk. If you watch any of my videos, you notice that. But that just tends to translate well into video, which I'm happy about. I'm genuine and passionate about the things that I talk about, and a lot of people have said that comes through in my videos, and that's what makes them so engaging. And interestingly enough, things I struggle with, I certainly struggle with. How would I say this? I guess public speaking or just speaking extemporaneously, and pushing myself into YouTube is something that helped me to develop through that, move through that. And that was sort of a challenge to myself. And I'm very grateful for this medium to be a learning opportunity because I have grown in my own personal self-confidence about the things I want to say and the way I want to say them. So my goal for this channel always is to genuinely serve. I'm a busy mom. I have an almost 3-year-old daughter, and most of my viewers are women in a similar stage of life. And I understand that their time is so valuable. I'm not creating content just to get views or just to waste time I want to create content that actually makes them feel happier from watching it, that gives them a little boost in their day, that helps them to learn something and feel encouraged. So, when I think about content creating, I think there is so much noise already out there. So if I'm going to create a piece of content, I want to create something that I feel good about, and then I feel like genuinely serve someone. And it just goes from there.
Wow. That's really good. Being able to analyze and understand what your weaknesses are, not only as a creator, but as a human, as a parent, as a spouse, as a creator, is so crucial. Being able to self-reflect and self-analyze of what makes you who you are. That way you know what you need to work on. That way you can really hone in on the things that you're good at and really double down on those things. So as a creator, understanding that, you're not good with scheduling. You're not good with sticking to a schedule. Well, maybe you need to put systems in play to make sure that every Monday you have a video go out. I talk to so many creators. How do I stay consistent? How do I do this? How do I do that? Well, maybe you need preemptive systems to set you on the right track. You got to know who you are, and you got to know what you struggle with. My wife is extremely good at setting a schedule and sticking to it. She's very punctual. She's very organized. All of those things are her strong suits. I am the complete opposite. I'm the creator mind of I'm all over the place. I really need to sit down. I really have to block out time. Her strengths really magnify my weaknesses and vice versa, and that's why we work so well together. On YouTube, you want that to be the case. You want to know what you do well and what you do not so well, and being able to look and analyze and not be so critical, but at least be a little bit critical so you can improve on the things that you're not so good at. Melissa, I want to ask you now in conclusion, as we kind of close out this interview, what are you looking to do next? Like, what are the short-term and long-term goals that you've set up for the channel?
So I want to be posting a video every week. I am in the process of launching a website and an email newsletter so that I can connect with viewers more directly, and serve them right in their inbox, meet them where they are every day. And I don't have any monetization plans beyond AdSense at this point. It is something down the road for me. I told myself when I switched my channel that I would give it 1 year to produce really good quality content. Like, my goal right now is not to grow followers necessarily. My goal is to create really good content, because the followers are a lagging indicator. The followers will come if I'm creating really good content. It's funny what you were just mentioning. I have a video about this on my channel. It's my next most popular video with 27,000 views, how to achieve your goals in only 12 weeks. And it's all about the 12-week year method and actually setting a goal and giving yourself the weekly step-by-step how to do things to get them done. And it's the exact same plan I follow to get my channel monetized. So using that as a framework to grow, my goals for the channel are to continue to grow this year. My 12-week goal is 10,000 subscribers. I'm more than halfway there, so I think I'm going to hit that goal. And just to continue to find ways to serve.
I love that. Melissa, this has been an awesome interview. You have so much value, not just in the space you're covering on YouTube, but just as a creator. You can tell that your confidence, like you mentioned in the previous question, has grown so much. You're such a good presenter. You're very good with your words, and I really know that there's going to be a lot of nuggets that my audience can take from this podcast. Can you let us know where we can find you on the internet?
Thank you so much, Dusty. Yes, so my channel is YouTube /@MelissaExplains. My website is melissaexplains.com.
Love it. All of that will be in the show notes as per usual. Melissa, keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you so much, Dusty.
You've been listening to the YouTube Creators Podcast. We want to thank you and invite you to subscribe to the show, as well as support us on Patreon for great perks, such as having your YouTube channel featured on the show and a link on our website. Until next time, keep uploading those videos.